Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comic Art Live channel. It's another night of fun. We're hanging out with ComicConnect this evening. We're going to be talking about their upcoming event, auction number 56, where they've got a lot of great pieces in their selection. So let me bring in the man who's going to be able to guide us through this wonderful selection of art, Micah.
So much pressure, Bill. So much pressure.
I know. I run a tight ship around here, man. We don't let
we got no hard out tonight.
That's right. Isn't that wonderful? We actually can go as long as we want to tonight.
We're gonna pretend this is like a Martin Scorsese movie. We're gonna be here till like midnight.
I'm at your disposal, Micah.
What's that?
I said I'm at your disposal.
No, I do not want to be here till midnight. So.
No. Well, me neither. I got stuff to do, but it's cold down here in Florida. It's like 45 outside. I had to dress warm.
Let's see. It's 31 degrees here right now, which is as cold as it's been all year. So it's hard to complain. But it was miserable this past weekend. It was disgusting. But hey, I'm looking forward to going to Florida in January.
Exactly. We've got this show going on down here. I'm glad that ComicConnect is being a part of it. You're a partner sponsor as well. We sincerely appreciate that. You know that.
More than happy to help. It's I'm looking forward to it, and everybody I talk to is looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. It's really a perfect time of year to have to go to Florida.
Exactly. That's how I looked at it.
Unless you live in like Los Angeles, in which case there's never a good time to leave.
And nobody wants to go to New York, at that time of year either.
I remember New York Comic Con when it was in February, and that was sometimes no fun.
Exactly. No. But yeah, we haven't really. We have some announcements to make, but we'll probably do that in another show. What the special stuff that we've got going on with ComicConnect. But once we have all of that worked out, I think it'd be cool to have you back.
We've got some fun things planned for people. That I hope everybody will enjoy. I think people will enjoy, especially more for people who have never been here to our office. But even some things that people who have been here maybe haven't seen. Some stuff that we're gonna maybe bring to, not show off. That's not the right word, but to expose, to expose to people who maybe haven't seen like cool things to see in person.
Oh yeah. I remember one of the most fun interviews I ever did was when we did that interview with Vincent, and he started walking around the office.
I still every once in a while talk to somebody. There are people who reference that show.
Mm-hmm.
As, it's like about getting the tour of the office was memorable. I think I talked to somebody about it just last week.
Hey, it's one of the more popular ones over time.
Years ago now. So yeah, no, I try to get people to come to the office whenever I can, because it's not necessarily what people would expect, because there's a lot of cool things to see here.
Mm-hmm.
Vince and Steve have impressive collections, and most of it is up here in the office.
Exactly, and I've never been there.
Which is a shame. That's a shame, Bill. I'm disappointed in you.
Virtually, I've been there 4 or 5 times. Well,
there you go.
More than that. But so we have your latest event auction, number 56, is up here.
On Monday evening, Eastern time.
And you've got some big artworks behind you there. I have to.
I pulled that piece out today, and I mean I've seen it before, and it's bigger than I remembered it being. It's out of frame. I mean, it's gigantic.
Man,
and it's cool. Ken Kelly, Tarzan.
Did the consignor hand deliver that one to you, or did you?
They did.
They did. Good, because I can't imagine what that would have cost to package.
But we will mail that anywhere in the world. I'll leave that to the shipping department. That's not my problem. I was talking to one of the guys in our shipping department today. Somebody emailed and asked a question about one of the pieces in the auction. Wanted to know just a little more info about the piece, and they asked how we were going to ship it. It's like, are you going to ship it flat, or are you going to roll it and put it in a tube? And I was like, who would do that?
It's happened to them, or they wouldn't think that you might do it.
And then I remembered that at one time, once I did have to mail art rolled up in a tube because Jeff Darrow draws too big.
Yeah.
It was a Jeff Darrow pencil piece. I think it's on CAF. It's like a Fantastic Four piece that Darrow did. And it's probably like 4 feet by 3 feet. I mean, it's just larger than you could find board to ship it flat.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to roll it up. It was on like 3 pieces of paper that Darrow had taped together. Darrow had delivered it to us rolled up in a tube. And I was like, there's just no other way to mail this. It's enormous. So but it's literally a last resort to anybody who's never shipped art before. Rolling is a last resort.
Mm-hmm. JC mentions that does it all the time.
Posters, no problem. Right. But artwork, I mean, please.
I know. I think once I got something that I bought off of eBay from an artist, and it was rolled in a tube. I flattened it out.
I have a Silver Age Doom Patrol page that I've had for forever, and when I got it, it had been rolled up for probably 20 years, and I put it in a Mylar sleeve underneath a pretty heavy rug for like 2 years, and it still curls up at the edges.
Well, it's like metal. Metal has a memory, so does paper.
Yeah, but it's a Silver Age Doom Patrol page, and I'm happy to have it.
Well,
in my cat gallery, if anybody wants to look at it.
I will. Can you see the little shadow of the curl?
You can. You can't. I think I scanned it.
All right.
But no. Anyway, we can get to the auction if you want.
We can. So let's see here. Let me highlight this.
I thought about pressing it to answer the question over here. I thought about pressing it, and we have presses here in the office, but nothing large enough for artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And if you press things without getting the entire piece in a press, you can end up with a seam, and I don't want that. So
have someday you seen that before?
I haven't, but I also don't want to.
Just a lot of it happening
in the other direction.
No, I don't blame you at all.
Not the worst idea. I've done that with posters. You roll it the other way to try to flatten it out. But I don't know. Someday it's not. It's in a portfolio now. Nothing bad is happening to it any worse than it already is. But it's fine. It's fine. All right, let's get to some art.
We can dive into the art. Hey, Kenneth and Mikhail in the audience.
Hey, everybody.
To the full court press. All right, here. So let's actually I gotta switch it to this one and this one. Come on, get it in there. There we go.
Oh.
Now I didn't open all the big tabs. I figured I didn't want to run into having
our timing out problem.
Yes, the timing out thing. So
new website is still under construction, coming along. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I've seen some demos of it. It looks good. I'm happy. Fixing a lot of the things that I think should be addressed. It's fixing a lot of the things that people come to me and talk about. We're trying to address anything that comes up, and give everybody a pleasant shopping experience.
Will the timeout issues stop?
I hope so.
That's the only thing I care about.
I don't know why it was put in the first place. It's weird.
It is an odd feature, but I like just the change in logo, and going.
Oh yeah. Everything's a little more graphic. People should start getting the catalog for this auction in the next week or so. Well, not the next week or so. Sometime this week. And the new sort of design that we've been incorporating, like the catalog is nice, it's clean. A lot of changes for the better, I think, going on at both ComicConnect and at Metropolis.
That's great. So the auction ending next Monday for the original comic art.
Mm-hmm. So Monday at 7.
Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Everyone, don't forget that. So let's see here. What do I got? I think I've got things ordered highest to lowest. So I can just dive in that direction.
We can start with this pretty piece right here.
James O'Barr, Crow #1.
Crow #1. This I knew Crow pages were relatively uncommon. I did not realize how uncommon until I started looking up, just to get an idea of, comparative sales, and saw that there have been almost no public sales of published Crow pages in the past 15 years. Not none. And, and again, I'm only privy to public sales, but very few. And, and not from issue 1. So not only is this, early in issue 1, this is the Crow coming face to face with his first victim in his quest for vengeance. So the Crow was published in 1989, and O'Barr started drawing it in 1981 when he was in the army stationed in Germany. And this is one of the pages he drew in 1981. It's signed on the back, James O'Barr, 1981.
Wow. And
that's really cool. I didn't realize he had started it so early. I find that much more interesting than, and the Crow is great. I mean, not discounting it had he drawn it in, say, 1986, 87, it's still great. But in 81, there was pre-Ninja Turtles, pre-Love and Rockets, pre any real black and white sort of, like independent boom of the 80s.
Sure.
I was curious what his influences were at the beginning, because it's not what you would think based on when the book actually came out. So I find that fascinating. And it's quite good. Very finished and polished for one of the earliest pages. And it's a splash. It's got a great image of the Crow on it. He is about to kill this guy, the poor Tintin here. And let's try to get some glare. But they're very cool. And its position at the top of the auction right now is not entirely surprising, based on the scarcity and demand of the Crow, which is a testament to its quality. It's 35 years old now, the book, and still going strong. Isn't there a new movie coming out?
I haven't heard that, but I mean, it would.
I don't know. There's always something in the works. It's one of those properties that continues to get reinvigorated because there is a demand for it. And I think well deserved. I mean, I remember reading The Crow in the early 90s and being impressed by it. Yeah.
Well, it'll be curious to see where this one ends up. Like you said,
I'm very interested to see where it ends up, because there was without any real comparisons, you can only go by like a gut feeling, and based on what people knowing that people are looking for pages and that they don't come up very often. But you never know what that's going to actually translate to until something actually sells. So it'll be fun.
So when you get a piece like this, do you try to go find every Facebook group for the Crow and try to infiltrate it a little bit?
I kind of feel like the people will find it. That's like good things
happen that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for good pieces to fall under the radar. There you go. Next year.
Well, I'll be watching this one. I've always been a huge fan of the Crow.
Yeah, no, it's great. I have just a couple little drawings that I got from him 30 something years ago. But pages. It's funny. This page came from a show that O'Barr did at the Best Color Gallery in New York probably in '94 when it was signed on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the Best Color Gallery. They did some good shows there. I remember going there. They did a show of all the death gallery art, and they did the pinup book of all the death images.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going there.
I don't know much about it. I've heard the name numerous times.
I remember going there and being outraged that the Dave McKeon death pinup was $1,000.
Well, we're outraged at different prices these days.
I know, and that was the cheapest piece in the whole show because everything else was colored.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I wonder where it is now. I wonder if it's on cast. Mikhail, do you know?
If anyone would, he would.
Yeah. So hey, all right, now we got the cover and then following the cover, the complete interiors to Frank Thorne's Fright #1. This is an Atlas book from the 70s. So the Fright only had the one issue, and it's beautiful work from Thorne. It's featuring Son of Dracula. So it's Dracula and Dracula's son. But I mean, Thorne, one of the best like horror and fantasy stylists of the 70s and 80s. But yeah, just fantastic work. The great cover. Just I love Thorne's inking. I love everything about his work. And yeah, just super cool. And then all I think it's 18 pages. So the complete 18 pages of the interiors for that issue. So all complete from 1975. You get the cover and all the pages, 2 separate lots. So there's no guarantee that they'll stay together, but really beautiful work. And yeah, Thorne was just a fabulous artist and a very interesting person from all accounts. I never got to meet him, but from things I've read and pictures I've seen, he seemed like he enjoyed every minute of making comics and promoting his comics.
And and the fame,
hanging out with women dressed as Sonia.
He had a good time.
He did.
He definitely enjoyed his
outfit
and time in the hobby.
And he lives a long life. He just died a year or two ago, right?
When did he pass?
Relatively recently.
It wasn't that long ago. Now you're gonna make me Google it. If I can mute everybody else in the audience. Let's see. 2021, March 7th. So
there you go. Well, yeah, 2 years ago.
Yep.
2.5, almost 3 years ago. Still, and yeah, from what I gather, a pretty good artist, pretty much all the way up to the end. But yeah, it's so identifiably Frank Thorne.
Yeah, he has, he's got a line quality a lot like Joe Kubert, but it's just heavier and a bit.
Not so much that you'd confuse them.
No, not at all. You definitely cannot. And it's, Thorne is definitely, he stands apart from Kubert, but same kind of from the same school of as far as inking technique goes. But
very like loose, expressive brush inking style.
Mm-hmm. One of these, I want to get a Red Sonja page.
I would love a Red Sonja page. Christmas is coming up. I accept bribes.
Don't they do like an office, Secret Santa type thing? Santa? You can ask for a Thorne there.
We don't do a Secret Santa. We probably should.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think that would be over budget.
Yeah, most likely it would be. But yeah, whoever gets these, that'll be great. And those are the number 2 and the number 3 priced items so far.
And I think the consignor got them directly from Thorne. I may be wrong about this, which means that they've only ever had one owner up to now. I'm not 100% sure on that. But either way, it's still all together, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice when things get kept, especially a book like that where there's only the one issue. Now
I got a.
I love this page so much.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, see, I hadn't looked at this one prior to this. This is great, man.
When I was talking to the consignor of this page before he had even agreed to put it up for auction, I told him that if he did, it would be not the most valuable piece, but maybe the coolest piece of art I've ever had the privilege to help find a new home. I love everything about it. I love the content. I love the dialogue. I have a huge weakness for Kirby monsters and Fin Fang Foom in particular, because what's not to love? But you got great, just these stomping and smashing and talking smack. It's like down here. It's like, so this guy here is pointing at Fin Fang Foom and saying, do you give up the chase? Do you admit that you are my inferior? And Fin Fang Foom replies, inferior to you, you puny mortal, Fin Fang Foom shall follow you to the ends of the earth if need be, to slay you. And that ends my dramatic reading of Fin Fang. But it's fantastic. It's pre-hero Kirby at, pre-hero Marvel Kirby at its absolute finest. And these pages, like the Crow pages, there hasn't been a page. I mean, there's only, I think, 12 pages in this story, something like that. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's 14 pages. I don't know. It's not the whole issue. And I couldn't find a page with Fin Fang Foom on it in a public sale since like 2006. So it's another one where it's like, it should be worth $1 million, because that's how good it is. I know it isn't, but it's as good as you'll get from a Kirby pre-hero Marvel Kirby. It's glorious. I love it.
No, it's beautiful. I love that last panel. That's almost where the Scooby-Doo intro with the giant thing, the Mystery Machine. I think they ripped off Kirby for that one. The state should be asking for some money for that. But no, it's fantastic. You're right. You're totally right. This is a gorgeous page.
It's mind blowing. I love it.
Everybody's wondering where he buys his shorts. Burlington, big and tall.
I think that Fin Fang Foom gets his shorts wherever he wants to.
Exactly. All right. Well, whoever ends up with that one's going to be pretty happy, I think.
Oh yeah. I'm going to miss it. It's been living by my desk for like 3 months, and I don't want to give it up. Felt
like you owned it for a while, huh?
I get to live with it. Next, we got some Spider-Man.
Yes, we do. Alex
Savic. This is Savic. I'm not 100% sure about that. It's spelled Savic, so I don't know. I always thought it was Savic, but I also like Star Trek, so who knows? So this was a cover to a promotional book that Marvel produced it's produced in cooperation with the National Action Council for Minorities in Engineering. So it's Spider-Man versus Dr. Octopus. The book itself is rare, but just a great Spidey Dr. Octopus image by Savic, who was one of the 90s. Savic and Bagley were probably the two biggest Spider-Man artists, post McFarlane and Larsen. And Savic was sort of concurrent with them on Spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really, really great image. A lot of great detail, tentacles and webbing, and just as if this were a main title Spider-Man cover, I would expect the price to be significantly higher. And I don't totally understand why people don't appreciate things that aren't sort of like but it's not an amazing Spider-Man cover. It's like, who cares? It's beautiful. And it's still a Spider-Man cover from 1990. 1990, it's actually earlier than I thought it was. So yeah, this is
great image. I love the.
It's really, and it's another piece where its positioning in the auction as of right now doesn't surprise me a whole lot. It's Spider-Man for one, and Spider-Man is Spider-Man, but it's also just a really, really good cover. And Dr. Octopus probably second as far as Spider-Man villains go. Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty great. Pretty great.
Yeah, I agree.
we can continue with the Spider-Man theme.
I'll swing over to the next one.
Talk about Mr. McFarlane.
Always in demand.
Always. And with good reason. I mean, as much as jaded as I am, and as much as I'm like, I don't collect mainstream art that much. It's like, I try to have my little niche collection of weird artists and weird art. I want a McFarlane page really bad. The 15-year-old me loves the fact that I get to handle things like this, and it's Spider-Man. I think that's the Shrike, if I remember right.
I don't remember this villain at all.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
He's taking care of Spider-Man, but he's worried he can't take care of the cops if they join in the battle.
Yeah. But some great Spider-Man getting thrown around like a rag doll. And just McFarlane drew action and the small details of environments during action as well as anybody. Like you feel the chaos of heroes, like Titans battling. There's a bunch of guys over here just kind of like strewn across a dumpster. A lot of things that a lot of artists wouldn't think to draw. And McFarlane was great at that. Almost like Will Elder, like throwing in all the chicken fat that Elder would just cram his drawings with. McFarlane was similar to that. Not in style, but in execution. But yeah, just beautiful drawing. Signed by Todd, just fabulous. If you're on the back of it.
And it's from issue 310.
310, yeah. So yeah, just a year into McFarlane's run on Spider-Man.
Very nice.
Next piece is another one. This was a relatively late addition to the auction, and I couldn't have been more pleased because everybody loves Adam Hughes, and everybody loves Adam Hughes' Catwoman covers. So this is the cover to Catwoman 45, and it's the only Hughes Catwoman cover from his run that has Batman on it, which is cool. It is. It's in the issue. Catwoman has like a nightmare vision of Batman, and that's kind of what the cover is representing. That's why Batman looks a little very demon-y, but just Hughes's time. This time period for Hughes is just wonderful. Like, he really, like, all the different textures, like the fact that her outfit actually looks like leather or latex or whatever shiny material it is. It's like the way he drew the wrinkling in her mask, just like really beautiful drawing. And you actually lose a lot of the small details of this drawing in the published cover because there's a lot of like digital coloring, and Hughes did that himself, so it's all by design. But it's really nice to see all the delicate texture that he drew in on the original. Just a really beautiful piece. And
very nice. Yeah, Adam's going to be at OAX too.
Yeah, he is. Adam doesn't do shows the way he used to.
No, he's got a little bit more time on his hands the last year, but yeah, it's not like the good old days.
No. I mean, he used to be one of those guys that you expected to see all the time, and and then even San Diego, he's not at every year now, which is a surprise. But he's telling you, hey, none of us are young anymore. Adam's been in this business for a long time.
You can pick and choose which shows you want to go to.
Adam's been drawing comics since the mid '80s, right?
Yeah.
The Maze Agency, was that his first book?
I believe Maze Agency was his first.
That's just my brain is filled with information that is mostly useless.
But no, very nice piece, obviously. And what was the size on that one? Was it?
It's 11 by 17.
It was 11 by 17. I thought it was wasn't the
slightly larger than 11 by 17.
Okay.
But drawn edge to edge, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Next, another cool piece that I've never actually had the privilege of selling one of before, so this is cool. It's one Lynn Varley Batman Dark Knight color page. This is Dark Knight number 2. This is during the mutant battle in Dark Knight 2. It's the Batmobile, and then the mutant leader sort of confronting the Batmobile. But Varley, what Varley added to Dark Knight cannot be overstated. She turned what could have been a great book into an exceptional book, like visually. And you can see it, like how much work she puts in the painting, and how much of it wasn't necessarily there, and how much trust Miller had in what she was going to do with the color. Leaving this panel with the smoke black and letting her just do what she does. Little tones and lighting, and it's really remarkable. And it's, great image of Batman, great image of Carrie Kelly, and then just this panel of the Batmobile with the mutant leader is it's a pretty iconic moment from the book. So that's cool. It was cool to get this in. I mean, I've seen these pages before, but I've never participated in selling one. So that's it's fun. It's fun. It's one of the things about this job that I really enjoy, is getting to see and live with so much art that I probably wouldn't come across otherwise, and learning about artists that I probably wouldn't be exposed to otherwise, because we're all very insular, by our nature.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I've never seen one of these myself, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a few have been coming to market, obviously, and they always do well. So they are collectible.
And and it doesn't hurt that you don't have to spend $100,000 to get one of these.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still pretty great, and it's still a piece of Dark Knight history. We have another one that I may or may not have time to get to coming up, but we have one of the Bill Ray color pages from Batman the Cult, and that's another really beautifully colored book. That and it's what it's nice about the Dark Knight and the Cult, and we have some Elfquest color pages where it's not color guides in the traditional sense. It's color art, like the Dark Knight and the Cult. They were published from that. They weren't published from Miller's and Jansen's pen and ink drawing. They were published from this with the line art acetate over the color. This is the production art, not the actual page. Which is, I'm not trying to say that this is more valuable or more desirable, but it does make it more substantial than, say, a color guide, which would have then been interpreted by your engravers to make the printing plates. That is the production art.
Mm-hmm.
And then our Tarzan.
Now you've got that behind you. The archivist wanted to say hi to you, by the way, in the chat. But yeah, so now we have this gigantic painting behind you by the amazing Ken Kelly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This was a commissioned piece that Ken Kelly did in 2001, and it may have been published. I couldn't find evidence of it, but if this is a commission, it's extraordinary. It's really, really amazing. One, I mean, it's just gigantic. How big is it? You have the
it is 3 feet by almost 4 feet. It's 36 by 47.
It's big, and it's on masonite. It's oil, really beautiful. There's some slight scuffing around the edges, but nothing that I think takes away from the beauty of the piece. It's got a big white gorilla on it. I mean, gorillas and cougars and Tarzan and Jane, and really the way the shadow opens up towards the center. Kelly was was a remarkable artist for a long time. You know, his career was almost 40 years, over 40 years. And, you know, there's a reason why he had the success he had with, you know, all the covers he did for Warren magazines, the album covers. You know, he really captured like energy and style in his painting, and was a super nice guy. Ken Kelly is missed. He was good people.
I never got to meet him, unfortunately.
I had a friend who did some work with him about 15 years ago, so I got to spend a little bit of time with him. That was nice.
Well, we wouldn't have some great images of Kiss without Ken Kelly.
Maybe the greatest image of Kiss.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Maybe the two greatest. I think he did the Love Gun cover too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Destroyer and Love Gun are probably the two best Kiss covers.
Right. Right. No, I always like this stuff. I mean, and this is a great piece. Though I've never seen this one before. Did the original owner have it framed, or did they?
You know that I'm not 100% sure.
Huh.
It does. It looks like there is like an even wear along the edge that makes it look like it may have been in a frame at some point, but I don't know. And a lot of the wear around the edges would be easily covered up by a frame.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, you know, one of those things where it's like, it's easy. It's out of sight, out of mind. Put a frame on it, it looks brand new. Great.
Yeah, it's a good one. What do we got here? Oh, an FF page by Kirby.
Kirby Fantastic Four. This is Fantastic Four number 97. So towards the end, but Kirby and Giacoya. This is I forget you have the page open. Who's the villain in this page? Or the other, but if some other hero makes a first appearance in this issue. Other hero. It's the Lost Lagoon.
Monster from the Lost Lagoon.
Yeah, and then there's, I don't know, because this honestly, if it just had this panel of Reed being all stretchy, that would be enough. But yeah, it's just great. Kirby Fantastic Four is amazing all the way to the end. I don't think that the book loses anything as it goes along. I think some of the issues in the 70s, 80s, and 90s are as good as anything they did in what is considered the sort of peak issues in the 30s and 40s. I love these comics. Yeah, you got Reed and the Thing and I wish I remembered this guy's name. It doesn't say in my description.
No, it just mentions the mysterious monster from the Lost Lagoon who makes his debut in this issue.
Yeah. I think the monster is actually taking the form of this man. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, it doesn't mention.
And this image of him coming aboard the boat here is just great Kirby imagery. Yeah, not a lot to say about Kirby Fantastic Four. They're special as far as for Kirby, for comics in general. There's a reason why everybody wants one.
No arguments here. I'd love to have a Kirby Fantastic Four page.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see here. So now we get a Jim Lee X-Men page,
which is another one where surprisingly, it's like comparatively speaking, I've been involved in the sale of decent amount of McFarlane Spider-Man pages, and a decent amount of Jim Lee art, but never a Jim Lee X-Men page before this one, which is a surprise because there's a lot of them. I mean, he drew X-Men at least for as long as McFarlane drew Spider-Man, maybe longer. But yeah, no, this is cool. You have Wolverine and Jubilee in Hong Kong. And this is for issue 257. So, and at this point in the story, Wolverine is hallucinating Nick Fury and Carol Danvers, and they kind of just follow him around wherever he goes. This goes on for a few issues. So, you have here, the ghostly images of Nick Fury and Carol Danvers, and just some really nice the great Jubilee. I love this Jubilee profile close up in the second panel. But yeah, you got nice, you know, Wolverine, a photo of Jubilee looking at a photo of Wolverine. There's a lot of great drawing going on here from relatively early in Jim Lee's X-Men run.
This is Joseph Rubinstein inks.
This is, yeah, Rubinstein. And yeah, it's just, it's cool. This is another one where, like, I bought these comics as they came out, and you know, Jim Lee was like a breath of fresh air in comics at the time. And I was a fan of, you know, art and X-Men before that. I cut my teeth on the Silvestri era X-Men, and I still have a huge soft spot for those. But Jim Lee just, it felt new. The way McFarlane felt new. Like, it was modern at the time. And still, Jim Lee is honestly, he's still the biggest artist in comics, probably.
Yeah, it's hard to debate that, you know, even today, just because his work at DC is so sought after, even. And
he's earned that status. You know, he's been at the top of his game for, 35 years. You know, at the top of his field anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredibly hard, especially in comics, to have that kind of staying power. Tastes go in and out of fashion, and Jim Lee never has faded. Like, he's always had something else that has been exciting. You know, from X-Men to Wildcats to, some of his more experimental stuff in the 90s that he was doing at Image, to, and basically revitalizing Batman in there, 20 years ago. Just consistently impressive work. A couple more Jim Lee pieces coming up as we go.
I wouldn't mind having one of his X-Men pages, even though he's not. Well, no, he is in my top 5. He was number 5 in my top 5 X-Men artists. So, yep. But what are you going to do? His stuff, his X-Men work is hard to come by.
Yeah, and it's understandably expensive.
Diet Milk mentions my first tattoo was a grifter head. Clearly not your last. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Next up, we have a John Romita Jr. Wolverine cover.
Yeah. This is from the Enemy of the State storyline by Mark Millar and Romita Jr. Inks by Jansen. We've talked about this before. I don't know that there's a lot of pencil or inker combinations in the wide history of comics better than Romita Jr. and Jansen. I think they understand each other perfectly. And yeah, this is anytime you get Wolverine, just plowing through people is cool. But with the energy of Romita Jr. It's a really good story. And this image was also used on the back cover of the Enemy of the State trade paperback, which is also cool. A little bonus publication. In the story, Wolverine is sort of like mind controlled by Hydra, hence so you get the big Hydra logo behind him, which is cool. Just doing what Wolverine does, which is massacring people with his claws.
Yeah,
a great visual image. Like, this is a piece that would really, this is a great wall piece. It would look great from across a room.
Yeah, like the spotted blacks on the characters here. It just makes for a great cover.
Yeah. Again, it's Romita knows what he's doing, and Jansen knows what Romita is trying to do, so he knows how to interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really lovely.
That's from 2004. Was that what it was?
2000. It's Wolverine 23 from 2005.
Yep.
And next we're going to go back to 1996, and some more relatively uncommon, or at least hard to acquire art. Joe Madureira X-Men 1995 or 96. Sorry, X-Men 336. This is got a great big image of Onslaught. And then you got Scott, and this is Sue Storm, and Cable, and Storm. So you got a lot of characters. A great big image of Onslaught in a way that only Madureira could. Madureira, I think we've talked about a little bit about Madureira before. It's a style that doesn't seem as innovative now because it's become such commonplace. But this incorporating the manga style into American superhero comics was not normal before Joe Madureira. And, he basically opened the floodgates for like an Eastern comics influence in American comics. And people have basically been trying to do what he was doing 30 years ago, still today. And I don't know that anybody's doing it better now than he did it then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good, and it's a testament to the fact that this art of his, from specifically his X-Men art from this time period, is incredibly desirable, and I'm excited to see what this page is going to do. I was excited to get it in. Cool.
Yeah, well, it's got a reminder to everybody that the original art auction lots do end next Monday. Start ending at 7 o'clock next Monday.
Just have a scroll along the bottom.
Yeah, I'm not that savvy with all this stuff just yet. I'm trying. I'm getting
the technology game.
I need an assistant. That's what I think I need. If I had that, I'd probably be ahead of the curve just a little bit. Now, and we've got this Kirby page again. DPS from our fighting forces here, and let me go highlight that one.
I mean, just Kirby and Nazis and a big cannon and inks by Mike Royer. I don't know what else you need in life than a big Kirby double page spread with a giant cannon and Nazis. Our fighting forces. This is 1975, and we've talked about this multiple times, but I love Mike Royer over Jack Kirby. I think it's the best interpretation of what Kirby sees in his head of any inker who ever inked him. And just the Kirby machinery and just so much great Kirbiness in this, the little swooshy lines and the big chunkiness. And again, Nazis. Kirby's career. Kirby owes his career to Nazis. He made it. He made his name by drawing Captain America punching Hitler.
Exactly.
But really beautiful, beautiful piece, and maybe some more Kirby and Royer coming up in just a few minutes.
Yes, it's a good one. And I wanted to put out, Marcus had mentioned Adam Warren when we were talking about Joe Mad. I guess Warren would be about the only other artist that you could say was trying to.
Warren was more of a straight manga style artist. Madureira blended the two styles differently. And I don't want to take anything away from Adam Warren because he did good work too. Mm-hmm. But I think Madureira really blended the two to create something new. And Warren was basically doing a manga style very, very well, but it was very much a manga style.
That's true.
I'm not trying to say anything disrespectful to Adam Warren. But,
I'm with you on that. I agree. His style definitely was more manga than Joe's.
Another double spread. This is DC Sampler. So this was basically just a preview book. So it's like previewing like upcoming books from DC. So this is the Justice League, like double page hit up from DC Sampler #2. And this is basically the classic Justice League and introducing the world to the Justice League Detroit. So it's, I'm not going to remember everybody's name.
I was going to ask you, who is this woman in the dress? Because that's a character I don't think I've ever seen.
Her name's in the description. It's in the description.
Okay, let's see here. I got to look, though. Because what is it?
Martian Manhunter.
Gypsy.
Gypsy. This is not Fighting American. Fighting American wasn't a DC character, was it? I swear I knew all this information.
Let's see.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously Aquaman, Vixen, Elongated Man, and Viper. And I forget who this is, and I forget who that is. But this is Chuck Patton, inked by Tom Mandrake. And again, a first appearance of a team, and just a really iconic shot of the original classic Justice League, like sort of passing the mantle. And I love that the background of the Justice League Detroit image is the classic Justice League shield. Just really pretty drawing. 1985. Yeah. And I love like advertising pieces and pinup pieces and like unusual art, like Marvel handbook art or DC Who's Who art. Like I love that stuff. I feel like artists have a lot of fun doing things like this, and it always shows in the originals. I've been looking for a piece of DC Who's Who art forever. I'm just waiting to find the right one. I have a Marvel handbook. By John Byrne.
Oh, you do? Shoot.
I do.
Lucky you.
Yeah. Got to familiarize yourself with my gallery, Bill.
I need to hang out on CAF a little bit more. That's the thing.
I also understand why maybe you don't want to do that.
I don't want to say I don't want to. I need a few more hours in the day, but
I mean, people ask me all the time if I watch the Dueling Dealers, and I have, but also that's work. You know what I mean?
It is.
And it's like I work all day around this stuff. I don't know that I all the time want to go home and do something that feels like work.
Mm-hmm. We've got Jordan and Dino.
Mike and Anthony. I appreciate what they do, and it's fun, but I can only look at comic art so many hours a day, which is more than is probably healthy, but still.
But now we have this great Wendy Pini.
We do.
Cutter from Elfquest.
Yeah, 1980. This is the earliest. This is one of the, if not the earliest, one of the earliest Pini Elfquest drawings I've ever seen. It's if people don't know, her originals from Elfquest are almost impossible. Like the published Elfquest art is, if not impossible, nearly impossible to get. The Pini archives were donated to Columbia University, to their comics library, which is great. I fully support what Columbia is doing, but as a collector, that annoys me. but I get it. You want to preserve. But to get like a drawing this nice and this finished, this big, it's a pretty good sized drawing from 1980. It's pretty great. And Elfquest is another one, that's really had great staying power. I mean, it's been around for 40 something years. I mean, I think the first Elfquest is like 1978 or 79. That's a long time, for something that has never changed creators. It's not something where it's just continued along with different creators. It's all the Elfquest books are by Wendy and Richard Pini, and that's pretty special. So this is a pretty beautiful drawing.
It's all pencil, right?
It's inked.
It is inked. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's faded a little bit because I couldn't tell. It looked like that outline might have been ink or pencil.
It's not faded that badly.
Huh.
A little, but not terribly.
Yeah. Well, it's I've been trying to get an Elfquest piece for a while, and if I own this one, I'd probably be pretty happy. I wouldn't need to get another example.
Well, we'll get to the color Elfquest pieces in a little bit, and those are pretty nice too. Like, again, like the Dark Knight piece, fully painted, published, painted Elfquest pages. With the with the artwork is on an acetate, but
right.
From when Elfquest was reprinted in, I think, 1982 in color for the first time, Wendy Pini herself went in and colored all the early Elfquest stories for that book, and we have a few of those coming up.
Very cool. So let's see. We've got a Epting Crux.
Epting is from the series Crux from 2001. Really great, sort of like very classic fantasy montage image by Epting, who's again, Epting throughout his whole career is just impressed. There's some older Epting coming up in a little bit. That's from the 90s. It's also just he's evolved and adapted, and just drawing drawing the Avengers in the 90s was great. Drawing this kind of stuff around here, and then drawing Captain America. His Captain America stuff with Brubaker is different even from this, and then like the Velvet book he did with Brubaker is even different from that, and he's like and never disappointing. I'm a fan. Epting is great. I have a piece. I'm happy to have it.
No, I've never owned anything by Epting, but man, he is such a good draftsman. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It looks like that. If that were like a painting, it would be like a movie poster from like 1983. It would be perfect. Like, a Dragon Slayer or Excalibur or something. Yeah, really. I love, and just the figure of the woman holding is that like an axe or scepter or something? Just the tilt of her head and just the express. It's very like classic illustrator-y kind of posing, and it's really wonderful. And different techniques and different textures. This is inked by Rick Magar, but just nice work all around. I love this guy here. The idea of leaving the no detail on the helmet and on the face in shadow it's striking. And just knowing what lines not to draw. That's like the sign of a great visual stylist, is artists who know what not to draw.
That's fantastic.
And speaking of people who knew what not to draw better than almost anybody who's ever made comics, is Darwyn Cooke. So got a couple of new Frontier pages. We'll start with this one. This is from sort of the big climax of the book, from issue 6. This is basically the Flash basically going like toe to toe with this big celestial alien, beast, and you got Cal Jordan up here, and that's one of the challenges of the unknown, I think. But Darwyn Cooke again. We've talked about Darwyn Cooke before, and I will continue to talk about one of the greatest losses comics have ever had, and comics have had their share, but it's hard to look at what Cooke did and not be sad about what we'll never get, because he had so much left in him. So I mean, just stunning. His choices are always perfect about how to lay out a panel, what to draw, what not to draw. And these things are so hard. So yeah, we got that page, and then we got this one from issue 6 earlier in the issue. Is basically the team sort of coming together to plot their plan to beat these, the invading aliens. They got Black Hawk and Adam Strange and Green Arrow, and the Challengers and the Flash, the Atom over here. Darwyn Cooke was so good at specifics and making everything feel exactly right. And for a guy a lot of his work is set in the past, to be able to make things feel like the time that they're set in, and also look aesthetically like the time that they're set in, that's incredibly difficult. And maybe for me, one of the best, 2 or 3, mainstream comic creators of this century. So
No, I completely agree with you on that. He's another artist I've still not owned something from. But
I have some sketches he did for me, and I've told Albert, who's Albert's repped Darwyn for years, that like my biggest regret of as a collector, at least of the past 15 years or so, was not buying a piece of his when he was alive, and they weren't cheap, but they weren't crazy. But I think, and everybody else thought that, well, there'd always be new work, so there'd always be new pages. And you don't think about something like that from an artist who's as young as he was.
Oh, I agree.
We've been on for an hour and we have not gotten through anywhere near enough. So
we're gonna pick up the pace. See, we thought we were coasting through this. You were secretly hoping we'd hit 3 hours tonight.
I do not want to hit 3 hours.
All right.
Joe Kubert, Our Fighting Forces cover. Kubert War covers. This is 1978. Nobody drew better war covers in the 70s than Joe Kubert. This is just a fact. And this is a great one. Bunch of guns pointing at the losers because they're the losers. But they're going to get out of it somehow. But you got to buy the book to find out. There are a couple of balloons missing, unfortunately, but still beautiful drawing. Love it.
Yeah, I always Kubert's covers are always fun. You're either looking through a doorway and the dangers inside, or you playing around with perspective here. You're just seeing the barrels of the guns. I mean, these are all like indicative things that he always would put into his pieces that just made him fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's cool. I love it, and I love the lettering kind of angle there with the barrels of the gun too. It's very nice.
The letter, all the title lettering down here it's paste ups, but it's all hand lettering. This is the original title stat. I think everything is original. Yeah, everything is original on here, and aside from obviously the missing balloons, but yeah, it's just I love traditional like pre-digital comic cover production. Like I like the stains and the glue. The little glue marks and the chemical stains on artwork. It's part of the charm, I think. Yeah. Artwork now can be very pretty. As pretty as a lot of it is, it's sometimes very sterile because it never goes. A lot of the art never leaves the artist's home until it gets bought, and so it doesn't go through all the different hands that it used to pre-computers. So there's a tactile nature to the traditional printing that really nothing post like the mid-90s has. And speaking of Caniff, we'll get to Caniff.
I could see the Caniff in there with those kind of abbreviated brushstrokes on that piece, Antoine. So I agree with you. So what do we got next? We have a J. Scott Campbell Gen 13. But those nobody wants those.
Yeah, nobody. They're so easy to get.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when this comic came out and it just sort of took comics by storm, and it was so different. It was this is what, 1995, and yeah, it's both familiar and new. It's very much in that post-image style, but Campbell didn't draw necessarily like Jim Lee or like McFarlane or like Erik Larsen or the other guys. He has a very unique J. Scott Campbellness that he still has. You look at this and you look at what he's doing now, and they're not. You can see the evolution of an artist, but you also you recognize that this is the same guy. The Fairchild's face here, or things like that. Very, very J. Scott Campbell, and he's another guy who's really never faded in popularity since he took off around the time of Gen 13, and through now, he's been one of the most popular artists in comics and in demand. And, you know, it's hard to argue that, you know, people can have opinions and people can think what they think, but you know, you can't argue with the masses. The masses determine what stays and what doesn't. And Campbell's staying power is for real. And yeah, these Gen 13 pieces do not come up often. And so we have this one, and also a page of Gen 13 layouts. So this is Gen 13 number 10. So this is 4 pages from Gen 1310. Campbell would do 4 pages of layouts on one board. So you got a lot of variety of content. I know you don't have this page available, so I'm just going to try to show it.
Looking, but yeah, it's a little further down. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, but it's really, you know, it's an interesting part of his process, and I'm a big fan of process. So it's like to see how artists work is interesting. And if you compare these to the finished pages, you can see the things he changed and things he kept the same, and you know, mostly the same. But you know, it's interesting to see what artists change from layout to finish, and you can tell what he was comfortable with and what he was working on. You know, some of the panels have more detail in them than others. Love this big splash image at the bottom. Try to get in there, but yeah,
I've never seen one of his layout pages like that before. There's a lot of his prelims on the market, right? But typically those
the more recent prelims are like little tiny figures here, like a small paper, and those sell for, you know, $500 each.
No, that's cool. I've not seen one like that before.
Yeah, no, I've never seen one of these either. It's really interesting, and fun. And you know, it's a great way. Signed by Campbell up at the top. It's a great way to get like a vintage Campbell example if you don't, say, have the money to buy the finished Gen 13 page. This week you get 4 pages with this one.
Quantity there. But now are we going to do the Caniff?
Oh yeah, are we at the Caniff?
We are.
Down. So I don't, you know, you're going to see this better on the full screen image, but for scale, it's big. I mean, for me personally, and I know I'm not alone in this, but I don't think enough people are on board. I think Milton Caniff is maybe one of the 2 or 3 most important comic book artists who's ever lived. This page was this Sunday strip was drawn in 1938. It looks like it's new. Like there's very little about Caniff's style that looks old. You know, there's some caricature, you know, that wouldn't be done today. But from a drawing standpoint, you know, the way he inked and the way he drew is modern, and he influenced everybody. You know, Kirby was trying so hard to be Caniff at the beginning of his career. Frazetta wanted to be Caniff. You know, it's basically at the beginning of comics, you had a whole host of artists. They were all either trying to draw like Caniff or trying to draw like Alex Raymond. And there wasn't a lot of in between. And, you know, and Caniff, I think more than Raymond, and I love Alex Raymond, so I don't want anybody piling on, but Caniff's work is so modern. You know, you look at like a Darwyn Cooke, and it's so similar. And he was doing this 85 years ago. You know,
that's incredible. That's why his work is so sought after today still. I mean, Raymond's is too.
Yeah.
But Caniff just had a style that set him apart from his peers of that time.
And he was, you know, in the era of, you know, the rock star newspaper strip artists, he was deservedly, you know, at the top of that heap. And yeah, this is a great one. You got some basically a building being bombed, and you got Burma here, one of the classic Terry late femme fatales. And then Terry and Connie and Pat sort of trying to not get crushed by rubble. And Pat succeeding worse than Terry. Yeah, so Pat gets sort of conked by some rubble. But really, just it's extraordinary, and just it's so big.
So it's 19 by 26.
Yep. I love also that. So that the title is an original stat. But I love that the signature in the title panel is original, and I love that he would sign them gigantic, like it's huge, like brush Caniff signature. It's wonderful. But yeah,
I wouldn't mind owning that one myself.
Me neither. I have a daily, but there's always hope for more.
I have a daily as well. So I can be happy with that, but a Sunday, from that era.
It took me a long time to get a daily. I just got it this year.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I got mine, the year before last, actually, at Heroes. So I've only had mine for a year and a half, not even a year and a half. Jerry wants a mystery sketch update. I've shipped out the ones that I've gotten, just so you know, Jerry, but I know that I'm going to have some from Mark that we're going to show on Thursday, and also who told me? I think Jiggy's is going to be in the mail soon, so that's like 60 of them coming my way within a week and a half, depending on how the mail goes. So, yep, many have gone out, and many are on the way. So, there's your mystery sketch update. So, what do we got next, Micah?
I believe next is this Milgrom Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Okay, so I tried my darndest to find this image printed. I could not. That doesn't mean it isn't. It's from 1975, so that would place it very early in the history of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they debuted sometime in 75. So it's way too good to be a convention drawing. So it could be an unused cover. It could be something that was published somewhere. Sometimes these answers are not find outable. Somebody may know, but it's a great image of the original Guardians by pencils and inks by Milgrom. If this were a convention drawing, it would be nowhere near as finished. There's whiteout corrections on it. You very rarely see artists making corrections on convention commissions. And also, you don't usually see commissions this finished from this time period. Because, if this was a convention drawing in 1975, it might have been like $15.
Right.
So, I just don't know. I think it's, I'll leave that comment alone.
Yes, but no, I was going to say the same thing. You're not going to see whiteout being done on a commission or a convention sketch. And during this era, you don't see too many 5-figure.
It's 11
sketches either.
It's 11 1/4 inches wide, which is wider than a cover would have been at that time. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know. I don't know. It could have been. I don't know. I don't want to make any sort of uneducated guesses, but it is beautiful. I can say that with authority.
Just got to find Al. Ask him.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea, but not before the auction. That's not going to happen.
No, you would have had to have done that a few weeks ago. But no, that's a great, very nice piece.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then now we've got a June Brigman piece.
June Brigman. This is another Marvel promotional cover. This is from the Marvel Superheroes Celebrate Children's Day. So you have basically, a whole host of Marvel heroes. You got, Human Torch and Franklin Richards, and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and The Thing and Captain America, Reed and Sue. And J. Jonah Jameson. I think we have a bunch of the interior pages in the story in the auction as well. Some really nice ones, a lot of great Spider-Man images. But I think if I remember right, the thrust of the story, which was again a promotional book to educate people, which isn't done enough anymore. They're using comic books to teach people things or teach children things anyway. It's basically they have to. The children and the heroes basically teach Jonah Jameson a lesson about compassion and understanding, which is something he so desperately needs. But,
yeah, he needed a lot of compassion. But he's got a stogie in his mouth. I don't know if we'd see that too often these days. But
not so much. Even Wolverine doesn't smoke anymore in comics.
Right.
But probably for good reason. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say that that's not for the best. Smoking is bad, young people. Coming from somebody who smoked for a very long time and wished he never started.
Yeah, I smoked in my early days as well. Sorry to say. Back when I was in college, haven't really
simpler
done
times. Simpler times.
Yes, exactly. I knew I was making a mistake back then too, but I was young then, and I thought I knew better. But so now we have a Hoberg piece here. Crisis.
Another really nice double spread. It's like a 80% double splash. So this is All-Star Squadron number 32. There are so many teams and characters on this page, it's almost ridiculous. So you've got the Justice Society, the All-Star Squadron, there's even more than that. It's so many characters. It's just so much great, the meeting of like Golden Age characters and into the, the All-Star Squadron was a really interesting book. It was a lot of fun. I remember reading the All-Star Squadron. So it's Crisis on Earth X. So it's another classic DC Crisis. Can't get enough of that. This is 1983. So this even predates the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So the Crisis, DC's crises go back to the 60s, but a long line of in-universe themes, but a lot of great characters. Plastic Man, Golden Age Dr. Fate, Golden Age Flash, Starman, Spectre. I'm not going to know who all these characters are. Hourman, Golden Age Green Lantern, Uncle Sam, Hawkman, Golden Age Superman and Batman, Wonder Woman down here. I don't know that you're going to find a page from this time period with more of these characters on it. It's really quite wonderful, and written by Roy Thomas, who clearly has an affinity for comics history and the history of DC characters, especially. Hoberg, just really beautiful drawing by Hoberg. I think this, when you think of a double page splash, you want it to be as like crammed with character and crammed with stuff. And this really does have that. This is another one that it's a great display piece. It is, and it's a title page as well, so it makes it even better. Absolutely. All original title. This is a hand-drawn title. This is a stat, but it's like all original, and it's really, it's quite remarkable. I'm pretty sure this hasn't been. I think this piece has been in a collection for a very long time. So it's like, I like, there's something to be said about pieces that don't change hands very often. It makes them more precious. That who knows when there'll be another opportunity. It's the wonderful thing about art. That is true. Now, let's see here. Next up, we have Ron Frenz cover. Yep. The cover to Thunderstrike #1. This is 2011. So, you got, it's a great big image of Mjolnir waiting for somebody to lift it from its role. But Frenz, this is relatively modern for Frenz. It's still quite wonderful. Inked by Sal Buscema, which is also cool. So yes, Frenz, Buscema, and it's 2011. But it's a #1 cover, which is nice. A great sort of iconic image, really beautifully designed, great silhouette, and the city. It's a really pretty cover. It also just had a nice little. This is a photocopy of the pencils, but with a little handwritten note to Tom DeFalco from Ron Frenz on the photocopy. DeFalco wrote the Thunderstrike series, I'm pretty sure.
I think you are right about that one.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And I think there's another one bought directly from Frenz and has never been available outside of that.
Cool. That is a good
now we got Joe Orlando. This is the Joe Orlando House of Mystery covers. It's House of Mystery number 259, 1978. It's a great, the gargoyle coming in the window scaring some children. I mean, and again, I can't remember if we talked about this before, but Joe Orlando, I don't think gets the credit he deserved basically for reviving horror comics. Basically, Joe Orlando at DC in the 60s was responsible for basically bringing horror comics back and into being a thing. And so without Joe Orlando, we never get the Swamp Thing and so many other great, like of DC's horror titles in the 60s and 70s. Like Plop with, of the stuff he did in Plop, the House of Mystery stuff with Sergio Aragonés, bringing Sergio Aragonés into the horror world, doing really wonderful things. And Orlando's responsible for Watchmen in no small part. I think, that's something that I don't think anywhere near enough people talk about, is Orlando's involvement in Watchmen. And he drew the pirate story in the comic, uncredited. All the pirate pages in Watchmen are drawn by Orlando and inked by Gibbons.
I did not know that, actually.
You could tell they look different.
They do. I just assumed Gibbons had done, just did his own thing. Just to
That's
make
why
it.
one of the, one of the little backup text pieces in Watchmen is a focus on Joe Orlando.
I do remember that. Well, okay. You learn something new every day, Micah. Yeah. Thank you.
See, I like to do what I can. Anyway, so I told you there'd be more Kirby and Royer.
Yep.
We got two pages. Obviously available separately, but 2 pages nonetheless. Mr. Miracle number 14, page 5, and page 19. Just both of them really great Mr. Miracle page. Mr. Miracle all over both of them. And this is what's her name? Madame something. The villain in this issue. She's crazy. She's got a crazy face, and I love it.
There it is. Yeah, I was trying to find the detail for that one. I got it. There we go.
But yeah, like beautiful this panel here with like Mr. Miracle in like tall grass. Just wonderful drawing. But I don't know how much I have to sell people on Kirby Mr. Miracle pages. So 2 pages, both of them available in the auction. Monday, starting at 7 o'clock.
And remind everybody on the bidding process, Micah.
Bidding ends when there have been 3 minutes with no bids. So no sniping, no last second bidding. Everybody has an opportunity to bid again. All right, so I told you there'd be more Epting pages. So we got 3, again, available separately, but 3 Steve Epting Avengers pages from, are they all from the same issue? Yeah, all from issue 339. It's a beautiful splash page. This is the Avengers, and I believe that's the Collector being defeated, or is that the Collector? Excuse my 90s Avengers ignorance. I apologize. But yeah, just Black Widow, Watcher, Beast, Captain America, Iron Man. I believe I want to say that's Adam Warlock. Hercules over here. Just a lot of characters. There's another one. Beautiful drawing. This is Epting and Tom Palmer. And there's another great one. Scarlet Witch, Captain America, the Watcher. Just wonderful work from Epting. All right, so we got a couple of Savage Dragon covers, and we got one Savage Dragon cover, and I was like, well, that's cool. You never see Savage Dragon covers. And then we got a second Savage Dragon cover. So we got from
same consigner or
different consigners.
Wow, different.
I know.
That's strange.
So this from 1996. This is a Savage Dragon Destroyer Duck crossover book.
Okay.
Just a great, like Larsen drawing anything, just like jumping at you, causing havoc is kind of what he does. And Destroyer Duck, this book was written by Steve Gerber and drawn by Chris Marinin and Erik Larsen. But, you know, I think that you can look at this and be pretty clear that it's majority Larsen. Just as great a Larsen cover as you see. They almost never come up. So, you know, I don't think having two of them is really hurting anyone. I think that there's enough demands to have two available. I think this shouldn't be too much of a problem, but I think this is a great image. I love Destroyer Duck. I love the story of Destroyer Duck. You know, Steve Gerber created Destroyer Duck as a counter to Marvel not letting him have the rights to Howard the Duck. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's fabulous. A lot of creators rallied around Gerber in the 80s at the time to support his efforts, for creators' rights, and it's always been important. And then we have another Savage Dragon leaping forward cover. This is Wizards Savage Dragon 1/2. This is 1997. But it's another really nice, large Savage. That's what I like in both of them. It's really big, graphic images. And Larsen's always been that sort of in-your-face kind of, there's nothing subtle about Erik Larsen, and that's kind of the beauty of it. And again, Erik Larsen turned his career, and for the past 30 plus years, has been drawing exclusively just the kind of comics he likes to read. And there's something really wonderful about that from a creative perspective. Just artists being able to just do what they want and be successful doing it. And he's been drawing Savage Dragon since 1991, 92, right. Something like that. Well, forgetting that the Savage Dragon comics from the 80s, they're the one Savage Dragon comic from the 80s, but that's Savage Dragon proper was 1992, still going strong.
Yeah, he's been hitting the convention circuit of late himself.
Yeah. So
no, this is awesome. I think he was just at the San Francisco Fan Expo.
Oh yeah. I have a little Savage Dragon drawing he did for me probably 25 years ago. Right. It's just a small, it's a small.
Honestly, that would be what I would ask him to draw for me if I ever saw him at a show. Why not, right? Get him with his creation. So this is cool.
And just going to throw this out there, if anybody is paying attention who might have one, I am actively looking for an Erik Larsen Doom Patrol page.
Aha.
He didn't draw very many, but I want one.
Okay, if you've got a Larsen Doom Patrol page out there, you know how to hit up Micah through his calf gallery, or
strong-armed.
So and it might be wise to throw it out there if anybody needed to reach out to you about any questions about the auction tonight or future options. What's the best way to reach out to you?
Our phone number is available on the website, but my email is just Micah, my name, and then the letter S at ComicConnect.com. I know it's very difficult to remember. Micah S, ComicConnect.com.
There you have it.
Or again, our phone number is on our website, and I'm in the office every day, pretty much. All right, more Jim Lee. Wildcats number 50. It's a pretty great Wildcats page, if you ask me. It's got Spartan, and I want to say that's Zealot, but I haven't read a Wildcats comic in a long time. But great news, yes. Jim Lee, Scott Williams, 1998. Just a lot of real nice action here. Again, I don't think we need to spend a lot of time selling people on Jim Lee. It's great.
No, we do not.
Got several Alan Davis Excalibur pages. This is from the Excalibur special, their first appearance. This is a Nightcrawler and Rachel. Rachel Summers, daughter of Cable, and the Phoenix. So I can only go by what the art says. So the book is credited as Davis, inked by Paul Neary. But the back of the page, and I've seen this on a few pages, in Alan Davis's handwriting says Alan Davis inks. So I have to trust the artwork and say that this page is penciled and inked by Alan Davis, which is pretty neat if you ask me. So you got a pretty cool page.
Right. I wouldn't think that he would have signed it.
Yeah, and it's clearly his handwriting on the back. It's not like somebody wrote that in later. But a really nice, Nightcrawler. You got the Werewolves, who were like a classic Excalibur recurring villain. And I don't know if anybody drew a better Rachel Summers than Alan Davis. Sorry, John Romita Jr. Or Paul Smith.
Yeah, no, I would vote for Alan Davis on that one too.
And you got a page from Excalibur number 4. More, Nightcrawler, Rachel with the Phoenix powers in effect here, which is cool. Excalibur 55. This is the issue where much of the issue was lost. The pencils were lost. So this is definitely inked by Davis over photocopies of his pencils. So this is actual drawing, ink over photocopies, all by Davis. But this is the finished artwork. It is original inks. And then a page from issue 67, Excalibur fighting Sentinels. Always fun, mutants fighting Sentinels. Looks like Sentinels are winning at this point in the story. But yeah, very classic X-villains, the Sentinels. Everybody loves Sentinels. All right, got a couple of Lim Silver Surfer pages. Got a page from issue 47. This is got Warlock, and I believe that is Morg, Herald of Galactus. Yeah, I mean, just Lim Silver Surfer, sort of Starlin and Lim, just classic Silver Surfer comics from the 90s. It's another page. This is from issue 75. This is the issue where all the Galactus' heralds fight, and they end up the heralds fight. Several of them die. It's pretty climactic. A great battle of heralds is Morg and Terrax.
Yep, no, those are all good.
Yeah, no, they're a lot of fun. Those pages, those comics are they've aged well. All the Starlin sort of cosmic stuff from the starting, going back all the way to the 70s, but even especially the stuff he started with the Thanos stuff in the early 90s. It's really, and there's a reason why they keep making that stuff into movies.
There are a lot of cosmic fans out there.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Next, this is the color. These are color guides, not production color art, but color guides. This is by Herb Arnold. This is all the complete color guides to the 28 page color guides to Richard Corben's adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's Fall of the House of Usher. Each page, hand colored over, photocopy, in color, mixture of colored pencil and other medium, but really, really interesting work. And it's all, and Corben's adaptation of House of Usher is one of his classic stories. It's nice to get the entire color art together.
Definitely.
Get more Jack Kirby. Thor. This is Thor number 164. This is Kirby and Vince Coletta. Just a great image of Thor and Sif down here. Full disclosure, so this is a stat. The fourth panel is a stat. The original drawing is underneath the stat. So the art is there. It was just the characters were just lowered a little bit to make room for Stan Lee's pontificating. Signed by Stan and Jack up here, which is cool. Great Kirby explosion in that first panel too.
Is the stat hinged in a way that you can?
It's
flip
not. It's not. But that's something that could be done.
Sure.
That would be. If I bought this page, I would probably look to have it restored and have the stat removed and the art underneath preserved, and then the text, the balloons, and the stat put on an overlay, so that you could have access to both. But the art is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will defend Coletta's inking on Thor all day long. I think Coletta gets a bad rap, but his work on Thor is, I think, appropriate and really quite nice.
Nope, I agree. It's the one book I give him a pass as well.
Yeah. So we have, this is Ethan Van Sciver's Cyber Frog. This is from the Cyber Frog Blood Honey, which is relatively recent. This was drawn in 1998, but not published until 2022, 21, 22. And this is, I believe, the largest image of Cyber Frog that Van Sciver has ever drawn. It fills the double spread. It's as good an image of Cyber Frog, as dense a drawing. I mean, Van Sciver is a dense artist to begin with, but it's impressive. It's visually nice. It's graphically nice. It's just huge. And again, you don't see, images by Van Sciver this big or this nice very often. An impressive drawing. Excuse me. Could go this way. Could go that way. It's versatile is what it is. Versatile artwork. But yeah, no, a really lovely piece. And it's hard to not find Cyber Frog charming because his name is Cyber Frog.
I never read it.
I've never read it either, but I don't. It doesn't.
But I saw the art. I mean, I
know. I was really
happy when he started working on New X-Men with
yeah.
Morrison. I still have a page from that run because I thought his style was pretty good. Fit the work too. But
you can't go wrong with Morrison's New X-Men art from any of the artists, really.
Nope, not at all.
I would like one of those pages. All right, got Mike Mignola, Cosmic Odyssey. This is Cosmic Odyssey #1. Got Metron, and then Martian Manhunter, Darkseid, all the new gods. Superman. This was the first Mignola book that really told me that oh, this guy's interesting. I should keep an eye on this artist. This is a really nice one. This is one of the nicer Cosmic Odyssey pages we've ever had up for auction. These 4 panels are stats of this one, but this one is original. So you got a boom tube up here. You got the Metron in his Morbius chair. I love. I actually like this book now more than I did in 1988 when it came out. I think it's aged very well. And again, Jim Starlin, written by Jim Starlin. He can do Cosmic at Marvel. He can do Cosmic at DC.
Yes. Now we've sold a few Cosmic Odyssey pages on Dueling Dealers.
Sure.
That's why Marcus and Dino both said, "Is it the last one?" Yes, because it seemed like we were always finding another one.
All right, we still have a lot that I want to get to, so let's try to speed this up.
It's 20 minutes to 11.
I know.
Man, time's flying.
Steve Dillon Preacher title page. This is page 1 from Preacher number 33. Preacher art is in demand. It's another comic that really has staying power. And Steve Dillon's great. Another sad loss for comics, but I go back a long way with Steve Dillon, so that was a rough one. But yeah, it's really nice. And you don't see the title pages very often. Got a Sam Keith Wolverine sketch cover. It's like a really nice. Sam Keith, is incredibly difficult to commission these days. So you get a nice like full finished Wolverine on a sketch cover is not common. I think he even on the back of it, he smudged the back and made a little note. Blemishes and spots made by SK.
I like it.
So when you send it to CGC, they'll know that that's part of the thing. This is a beautiful John Paul Leon. This is the cover to DMZ number 42. Again, I hate to be like a downer, but another real bummer of a loss for comics. Like John Paul Leon, this cover is artistically stunning. It's wonderful. And John Paul Leon art does not come up for sale. Covers very rarely come up for sale. I think this is only the second of his covers that's been up for sale in something like the last like 8 to 10 years. Like very rarely do they come up for auction. It's beautiful, expressive drawing by a real talent, and like another real tragic career cut short. But we always will have his work to enjoy.
Very, very true. I like this one.
Got the like Batman Adventures art. This is Tim Levin's. Some page 1 and 2 from Batman Gotham Adventures number 54. Some really great large animated Batman images, and then the cover to that same issue, which is by Bob Smith, inks by Terry Beattie. It's like a nice, some really wonderful artists worked on these Batman animated series and did some really good work. So got those. This is Doug Monk, the Superman, the Man of Steel, number 116. Really nice, like quiet, sort of powerful image of Superman standing over a toppled statue of Darkseid. It's really nice drawing. Got this J.G. Jones. This is the cover to DC's 52, number 33. That's Batwoman and Nightwing. Really great, ink wash cover by J.G. Jones. Nice. It's nice, a nice romantic
holiday.
Yeah, it's a Christmas cover, is it not?
Mm-hmm. 'Tis the season.
It is indeed the season. I got another double splash. This one by Andy Kubert. This is from Damian, Son of Batman, number 1. This is like an alternate. It ties into I think a Grant Morrison story that Kubert illustrated, but like an alternate future. So this is Damian as Robin cradling a Batman who has just been murdered. So this is literally the death of Batman in the universe of this issue. Beautiful work by Kubert. Kubert wrote and drew this miniseries. So you got a nice, like the fully rendered image of Batman and Robin. The background is pencils, so to add depth and tone. Really wonderful drawing. Andy's really quite a remarkable artist. And like John Romita Jr., I will always think of the two Kubert sons as young, and I know that they aren't anymore.
No, they are a bit older than you and I.
Yes. A really, really great page from Cerebus number 35. This is pre-Gerhard's assist, so this page is all Dave Sim. And you got Cerebus and Astoria and just all the things that make Dave Sim such a great storyteller. Just, wonderful. From the High Society storyline, which may still be my favorite Cerebus storyline. But yeah, just great expressions, great lettering and sound effects, and I love the Cerebus expression in the bottom panel, the bottom left. Just wonderful. I love, not again. I don't want to take anything away from Gerhard. Gerhard did a stunning work, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing him at OAX. I haven't seen Gerhard at a show in 30 years, so it'll be nice to see him.
I was gonna say I've never seen him at a show.
I saw him at a show with Dave Sim, but that was like 1992.
Oh wow!
So since then I haven't. So that'll be fun. All right, we got Dennis Cowan Deathlock title splash. Cowan's Deathlock really some of his best work, I think. And I mean, he's for a guy who's still doing pretty good work, but I really enjoy his Deathlock work. Deathlock in Question, I think, probably my favorite Cowan from the time period.
Mm-hmm.
But really lovely. A Don Heck Tales of Suspense Iron Man page, Tales of Suspense number 68, 1965. You got great Iron Man action page from, relatively early in Marvel Silver Age, just a couple years in. That's really nice. You got, this is Javier Salteras. This is Night Thrasher from the New Warriors in his solo title. This is Night Thrasher number 2. Great. Yeah, just Salteras, excellent artist. Mark Buckingham. This is from Miracle Man number 19. So from the early original run of Neil Gaiman's time on Miracle Man. So this is from 1990. So in this issue, it's the Andy Warhol inspired issue, and Buckingham drew a good chunk of this issue in white on black paper. So it's white, sort of like a pencil on black paper, then cut out and pasted down. There's a couple of photo sets, but only a couple. Really wonderful, and a really good issue of Miracle Man as well with the Warhol stuff. And Gaiman Miracle Man's finally coming out again, which makes the old me very happy to finally be able to do this. The Jim Mooney Supergirl from Action Comics number 304. Twice up Jim Mooney pencils and inks. The Art Capello's the cover to Charlton's My Only Love number 1. It's a great Charlton romance cover and a number 1 to boot. This is a Spawn. This is cover Spawn number 208 by, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Simon Kudransky. Could be right. Published from pencils, digitally colored over these pencils. So this is the published cover. Main title, Spawn covers, very hard to find. It's almost, they very rarely come up for sale. And this is cool. So this is in this issue, I think it's Sam and Twitch from Spawn dies or has previously died, and Spawn is trying to investigate his murder. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, this is Spawn reflected in Twitch's broken glasses. It's a nice visually arresting image. Beautiful work. We've sold some Kudransky Spawn pieces, interior pages before, and they've done quite well. People respond to good work, and Spawn is another one of those classic characters with really maintained popularity over time.
Simon Kudransky. I think
this is going back a few years. This is a complete 8-page story by Bob Fujitani from Speed Comics number 42. This is 1946. So, this bag. So you got 8 pages, great classic like Golden Age hero art by Fujitani. Signed on each page. Everybody should go look at this story because it's really quite wonderful. Almost 80 years old. Great, great, like early hero comics. Speed 42 is a Harvey title, 1946. And Fujitani was a great Golden Age artist. And I think this a pretty decent time. I think Fujitani lived into the 2000s, I want to say.
Oh, really?
We have a couple of David Finch Cyberforce pages, both from Cyberforce 25, 1996. Really nice early David Finch. This is really quite beautiful. This large half, most kind of like almost like a 3/4 splash image here, and still clearly, you see modern Finch in these pages, even though they're from 1996. Quite nice. Let's see, we got a Dick Ayers, The Human Torch story from Strange Tales 117. This is 1964. Very early Silver Age Marvel art. This is Human Torch. I believe he is fighting the eel, the terrible eel. But very cool. Twice up Silver Age Marvel art. John Cassidy. This is from the Captain America, the 2002 Captain America #1. This is the sort of the Captain America's reaction to 9/11. This series, and this is page 21, but it takes 21 pages for Steve Rogers in this issue to get the nerve to become Captain America again and become that symbol that he is, and Cassidy really captures that the heroic nature of Captain America and what Captain America really means and what he symbolizes.
That's a beautiful page.
Hey, we got, this is Superman, Adventures of Superman #0. This is 1994. Barry Kitson, a really nice, dramatic Superman cover. Nice, like great, large, flying forward Superman cover. Very pretty. Todd McFarlane. Next is Todd McFarlane drawing from 1984. So a young Todd McFarlane. This is a published piece. It was published at the time. McFarlane, I think, had like some local family friends published a portfolio of drawings called The Perils of Pride. So it's all, mostly drawings featuring the Kitty Pryde and other X-Men. And this is Wolverine and Kitty by a young Todd McFarlane. And you can, recognizably Todd McFarlane. Quite nice.
What year was that? Oh, 84.
84. Wow. This is the Wendy Pini color pages. So they're not color. They don't have the line art overlays. They're painted over the black images, but still really quite striking. Like colors, the dyes that they used to color comics back then really hold up well at the time. They're really like vivid, strong colors. So yeah, really beautiful. All done by Wendy Pini. This one, yeah, it says the first color. This is the first time that Elfquest was ever in color. This is a page from issue 1, colored. And again, the artwork is printed, but the color is all original. It's real nice. It's a nice jam painting by Dan Brereton, featuring a bunch of Marvel heroes. So Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Wolverine, Silver Surfer, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor. Pretty great. Brereton is, Brereton's been a great artist for a long time. He's going to be at OAX too, is he not?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Oh, let's try to get through a few more.
I'm going to hire you for PR, Micah. You're on the ball, man.
Hey, we're going to be there too. I want people to come. MC Wyman, U.S. Agent title slash is U.S. Agent #2. It's pretty great. Kicking in a door. Pretty, again, so it's like dramatic title splashes. That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's real nice John Byrne, just a pencil drawing of Batman, but a really, really lovely one. Quite large too. Over 11 inches wide by about 12 inches high. That's just the drawing. Murphy Anderson, Strange Adventures. The cover is Strange Adventures 162. It's like classic Silver Age Murphy Anderson DC art, 1964.
Not bad.
We got a few really nice Neil Adams drawings, like a really nice Batman and his companion, I think if I were looking at these, I would want to buy both of them because they go really well together, Batman and Ra's al Ghul. And then as like iconic an image of Green Lantern, as you'll find. Yeah, there you go. All right, we're going to go a little past 11, but I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible.
All right, you have the floor.
Esad Ribic. This is a variant cover to Marvel Legacy #1. This was a variant cover that was made for the Napoli Comic-Con in 2017. So the Marvel Legacy #1 was the first appearance of the Avengers 1 million BC. They are featured prominently on this cover by Ribic. Again, just a fabulous artist. Large, bright, wonderful.
And still at $460.
I know it's a, you know, that's why I should start at this stuff. This is stuff this is a couple of Ron Frenz Thor pages. This one with as good an image of Thor as you're ever going to find on a panel page. It's perfect. Like heroic image of Thor. This is Thor 406. This is Ron Frenz inked by Joe Sinnott. Another one from issue 408, also Joe Sinnott inks. Another really great Thor action page by Frenz and Sinnott. Just really, really wonderful work. More David Finch, the Rising Stars, so J. Michael Straczynski's Rising Stars cover. So more Andy Kubert. This is the cover to K-Zar #3. This is back 1997. Really beautiful. If you actually look at the published cover of this, they changed the background from black to like a light blue, and it looks better like this. They should have left it.
That is a great image.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful Alex Maleev. Sorry, I'm moving faster than you are, Bill.
Yep.
Beautiful Alex Maleev commission of Moon Knight. Again, quite large. Like a real nice triumphant image of Moon Knight. And not to be outdone by, this is Maleev. This is a recreation of the cover to Daredevil #50, which is the issue where Daredevil becomes the Kingpin. And this, I'm going to take it out of the sleeve here so you can get a better look at it. So the original cover to Daredevil 50 was composite, you know, art and digital. There is no full cover to the original Daredevil 50. It's Maleev, when he was doing his run on Daredevil with Bendis, would do figures in pencil, but then you know, do like and I'm not knocking it. It created some really wonderful work, but there is no original cover to Daredevil 50. This is this is astonishing, and it's where it's at in the auction right now makes me sad. I don't expect it to stay where it's at, but it's really beautiful, and I want people to get a really good look at it because it's really quite lovely. And if you look at it next to the published cover, I might actually prefer this one. And you couldn't, you know, and again, you can't own the original one if you wanted it because it doesn't exist.
Exactly. I've always liked Maleev's work, so you can't go wrong with those.
Got a complete 11-page Partridge Family story, 11 pages, 12 pages, something like that. All available individually. Partridge Family story by Don Sherwood. Really, a lot of variety. The whole family, they go visit a haunted house, and hilarity ensues. Yeah. Look at that. It's Sean Cassidy, gigantic. And Danny Bonaducci, gigantic. These comics are a lot of fun. The art's really nice. Twice up John Sherwood art, 1972. Very cool. Let's see, we got Warlock in the Infinity Watch page by Angel Medina with a really beautiful image of Thanos at the bottom. Again, with 3 stat panels made from the one original panel. But yeah, real nice Thanos in that page. Gene Colan's Marvel Spotlight number 18. This is a Son of Satan issue. It's beautiful Son of Satan page by Colin and Frank Chiaramonte.
That is really nice.
This is a.
I love that second panel there.
Oh yeah, Colin at that time period was just fantastic. This is the title splash to Silver Surfer Warlock Resurrection #2 by Jim Starlin, inked by Terry Austin. So you got a great big image of Silver Surfer, and it also includes this, which would have in the published. And if you go to the listing on the page, it shows the published image, but it's this was superimposed over Surfer's face, printed in blue. But yeah, in both original Starlin and Austin, both included. Nice. Yeah, there you go. If this were done today, it would have been done all on one piece and just changed digitally. But again, pre-digital printing techniques.
You got to work for it.
Yeah. Let's see. We got early Jim Lees, Alpha Flight number 56. Jim Lee and Tony DiZuniga. So yeah, really cool example of early Jim Lee, and still recognizably Jim Lee. If you when you look at it, it's like, okay, I see it. I see Jim Lee in there. This is 1988. It's a beautiful John Buscema and Ernie Chan Conan the Barbarian page. I'm a big fan of Buscema and Chan. Got Stuart Immonen, Adventures of Superman number 549. This is electric blue Superman, but a really nice graphic cover.
Oh yeah.
Immonen, 1997. This is 20 over 25 years old, and Immonen still going strong, still producing really solid work. Let's see, we got a few Paul Ryan Fantastic Four pages from, all from the early to mid 90s. Really a lot of good action, good, Reed Richards fighting evil Reed Richards. So much stretching, good stretching, bad stretching, so much stretching. The half splash of with full of Namor and Thing and Sue. Paul Ryan was a great on Fantastic Four. The nice Dr. Doom page. And there's another really nice Dr. Doom page by Ryan.
Oh wow, that is nice.
Yeah, it's a really good image. I love that image in the middle.
Yeah. It is still live, Carlos Mo. We are still live.
Hey-oh, we're getting there. The early Mike Allred Madman. This is from Mad Men Adventures number 3, 1993. Another featured OAX guest.
I was just going to say. I was waiting to see if you were on it. You are.
I get the emails, Bill. So you got Bob Layton and Hercules from the Hercules miniseries. I think this is the second Hercules miniseries, but they're all by Layton. I think this is the last page to issue 4, which I think may be the last page to the series.
Layton's going to be at OAX.
Is he? See, there you go.
Yeah.
Chris Picciolo. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 555. This is 2008. Because Spider-Man and Doctor Strange by Picciolo, who would be closely associated with both of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Herb Trimpe Marvel team up. This is Spider-Man and Paladin. Who can't remember the wonderful team up of Spider-Man and Paladin? But still, Trimpe Marvel team up is 1981. But very cool. This is, so we got, again, also listed individually, like the Partridge Family story. This is the complete story by Jack Sparling and Bernard Sachs, Girls' Romances, number 134. It's a DC romance book from 1968. Really great stuff, and I'm just losing pages left and right. It's really nice, like late Silver Age DC romance art.
I'm looking for that Paul Ryan FF page with Doc Doom so I can put a bid on it. Since we're out of order now, it's not easily jumping in front of me right now.
Let me burn through just a few more things and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Got an Ernie Bushmiller Nancy Sunday. It's 1957. I mean, it's Nancy. Like, who doesn't love Nancy? A painted Paul Ryan pinup. This is a poster insert in a Marvel UK reprint book. That's like a really nice. I love the style and the composition of this piece. It's really, it's almost mesmerizing. Like I found myself looking at this piece more than I would have thought. I love the way he painted and he just depicted the cityscape down here. As the Spider-Man is nice and bright, the ink is nice and bright. It's a really compositionally interesting, and Amiri is fabulous. It's 1983. Let's see. Got an early Wizard of Id daily by Grant Parker and Johnny Hart. This is 1968. So I think this is like the second year of Wizard of Id. It also includes some color production proofs, but this is the only original. But it's quite nice, signed by Johnny Hart and by Grant Parker. You very rarely see these 60s Wizard of Id dailies. Another Nancy is one a daily. This is 1965. It's a beautiful preliminary drawing by Olivia. It's really not like a Vegas showgirl. But beautiful drawing. This is another one. I recommend looking at the scan of this one, because you can't really do justice with all the glare from the bag and me showing it to you for 5 seconds.
Mm. I like Olivia's work.
She's fantastic.
Yep.
This is that Batman the Cult color page by Bill Ray that I mentioned about 2 hours ago.
Number one Marvel fan had a question for you. He said, didn't recall with the comic, is the payment plans easy to set up on checkout, or do you have to do the whole 9 yards, or is that something you need to set up in advance? If you're...
like a time payment plan, that would need to be. It depends on what you're looking at. I suggest giving me a call here at the office before the end of the week, or sending me an email, and we can. It's a piece by piece basis. Not some consigners are cool with the payment plan. Sometimes some of them aren't. We can discuss and figure out what makes the most sense. So yeah, Micah, my name Micah, then the letter S at ComicConnect.com, or our phone numbers on our website. I'm in the office 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. And I'll be here throughout the auction next Monday. So if anybody needs any assistance during the auction, I will be in the office answering the phone.
You're on call.
Yes. This is going to take a minute. I'm going to have to explain this one a little bit. This is Severin and Elder EC title page. This is from Weird Fantasy number 20. But this is not the original page from the 50s. So when Russ Cochran did his EC library project in the early 80s, they printed all of the reprints from the original art, which is why those books look so nice. Mm-hmm. But not every page was available to them. So there were pages missing. And what Cochran did at the time, because for the most part, those artists were all still alive and still relatively young. This is 40 years ago. The pages that were missing, he had recreated by their original artists. So this is a page that was created around that time, 1980, 81, 88 or so, by Severin and Elder, basically just duplicating the page that was lost. Mm-hmm. So each panel is on a separate sheet of paper that was then pasted down. The text and the title is all photostat. But the panel, each image in the panels is all original drawing. It is, even though created in 81, every reprint of this story since this used this page. So this page has actually been printed more times than the original one. And honestly, if you look at them side by side, they're very close. And yeah, clearly Elder is inking, and the Severin and Elder teams was really wonderful. But that's what this is. Still very cool. Still EC art by EC artists.
Well, we owe Russ Cochran a debt of gratitude for all the work he did with those early EC reprint books. Yeah.
The EC library box sets are my definitive versions of those comics. I prefer them that way. No offense to Marie Severin and her coloring, which is quite wonderful. Those artists are so great that I want their work in black and white.
Agreed.
This is Kurt Swan, 1954 Superman by Kurt Swan. And yeah, you just don't see a lot of twice up Swan Superman pages. This is very rare and very cool. A couple more and then we're done. This is Mark Buckingham, Peter Parker, Spider-Man number 23. This issue is the first appearance of Typeface, who is featured in the sequel to the Spider-Verse movie that came out earlier this year. Really nice Buckingham Spider-Man page. Sean Murphy from Batman Beyond the White Knight. This is a straggler from our series from the last auction that is being sold to benefit the Lake Como Comic Fest.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
All the proceeds from this piece will go directly to the Lake Como Festival. Irv Novick, Brave and the Bold. This is 1970. It's like a real nice Irv Novick Batman page from late Silver Age. Kevin Eastman, Teenage Ninja Turtles page. This is from the Ninja Turtles 2012 annual. And this is another Darwyn Cooke. This is Darwyn Cooke from the Wolverine Dupe miniseries. Really, really quite lovely. And let's see what else I got. I'm just trying to just show the highlights of what's left.
See, I'd missed that Wolverine dupe page. That's not too bad. I like that.
Yeah, and I feel like people are maybe overlooking it because it's not because it's overshadowed by the New Frontier pages, but it's still quite beautiful. It's like Ernie Chan title page from Forbidden Tales of the Dark Mansion. Very cool. 70s horror title slash by Chan. Got a Dick Briefer Frankenstein page that is criminally inexpensive right now. I mean, Dick Briefer Frankenstein page. What more do you need? It's from Frankenstein number 5.
Don't see those too often.
You do not. You do not at all. Adi Granov, Spider-Man and Mary Jane. I believe this is just a painted commission, but it's still quite beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know what Spider-Man is hanging from, but it's not important. What's important is Mary Jane is really, really, really enjoying that car.
Yeah, it's a happy car.
Brian Hitch cover from Ultimates number 3 from the first Ultimate series, the classic first Ultimate series. I think just a couple more things. Because it's the Christmas season, this is a Virgil Ross drawing of the Grinch. This is the Virgil Ross, like a legendary animator, worked with Chuck Jones a lot, worked on a lot of the old Warner Brothers Bugs Bunnies, and worked on the Grinch. So this is a really beautiful illustration of the Grinch by one of its original animators, Jim Steranko, Nick Fury. Got Bruce Timm, classic Bruce Timm Batman, and the less classic Bruce Timm Damian Wayne, which is awesome. Like, I love the expression that Tim got on Damian. It's perfectly Damian. We got a handful of beautiful little David Lloyd portrait of, I believe this is of Evie from V for Vendetta, but still a beautiful David Lloyd portrait nonetheless. David Lloyd, again, another one, sadly no longer with us. I'm bringing everybody down. A quad. I don't even know how to. Four. One of each turtle sketch covers by Kevin Eastman, all available separately, but each one really nice. Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo. And
he's going to have a busy year this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think that's enough. I think we've done enough.
Well, you did a lot, you know.
But there's still, and again, there are over 400 pieces of art in this auction. I believe this is the largest art auction we've had in my time with ComicConnect. It's like 440-ish pieces.
I was just going to say, how many pieces are in this one? Well, that's that. I think that is probably the largest that you guys have had. So at least since
and that's it's like, and trying to pick out just and there's good stuff I didn't show. There's great stuff. I can't recommend enough to really just go through the whole auction. You never know what you'll find. Indeed. And it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of really good examples, and there's going to be some nice affordable art there too. Great gift ideas. Everybody loves getting. I mean, I don't know about everybody loves giving art as gifts, but I know everybody loves getting art as gifts.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't happen often enough in my household, but
I have done both, given and gotten art, and I actually enjoy both. Getting is better.
Yeah. Well, here I typed really quickly, so there you go, Micah.
Thank you.
ComicConnect.com for all your questions about this auction or future consignment opportunities. Mike is the one to
absolutely. And yeah, any questions about the auctions, about payments or bidding or anything, I'm around all week and here all day and all evening during the auction on Monday. So yeah, next Monday, December, I can't believe it'll be December already, December 4th. Or if you just want to chat about the new Godzilla movie that I will be seeing on Friday, and I cannot wait.
I was thinking about trying to get out to see that one too. I don't know if I'm going to.
I actually had to give up tickets to the new Miyazaki movie in IMAX next Monday because I realized it was the same day the auction was ending. So I have to wait until Friday to go see the new Miyazaki, which is a little bit annoying.
Well,
such
you make concessions sometimes for work, Micah.
I can wait 5 extra days.
When you come down to OX, are you going to spend any extra time down here? You'd like an extra day?
I think the plan is to come out a day early so we can enjoy Friday and enjoy being in Orlando on Friday. Maybe go on some amusement park rides.
Well, Universal's
That's
ready.
My plan anyway. We'll see what happens.
I won't be able to join you the day before. I'm planning on taking the Monday and Tuesday after the show for sure, and going to the parks or something. Just
sure. I think we're gonna have to get back and back to work. To grind, Bill.
It is. It definitely is. But I wouldn't have it any other way. But Micah, thank you as always. I'm glad we got to do one of these with no encumbrances on us, that we could hang out as long as we needed to look at as much art as we wanted to.
I gotta learn how to pace myself in the first hour.
Yeah, maybe I should still have a timer here, like just set it to 90 seconds.
You should be like every piece that comes up, there should be a timer. It's like, all right, you're done talking about that one. Move on. Next
time. I will have that on there for the next one we do.
But I want to show as much of the variety as I can, and I don't want to focus only on the big, splashy, expensive pieces, because as those are great. Those are like lots of fun.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I know personally, like, there are great pieces to be had that aren't in the top 100 most expensive pieces in the auction right now. And I don't want people to maybe overlook those because we didn't talk about them because they're not up at the top of the list at the moment.
Right.
So, and obviously everybody should just be bidding on this beautiful Milton Caniff.
It is really nice. I mean, I would definitely trade up for that one. over the one I have. I have,
Oh,
mine's
no,
okay,
no
but
kidding. You don't see the Sunday. I mean, hey, there's only one Sunday for every 6 dailies.
very true. It's rare.
So anyway,
all
thank you so much, everybody, for bearing with us.
And as everybody knows, I'll be back at it tomorrow night. We have a special episode of the Dueling Dealers tomorrow night. It's going to be with Dino and Jordan.
Oh,
so no Mike, no Anthony, and but 2 amateurs duking it out. So that'll be fun.
Good luck to Dino and to Jordan. I hope to see both of them in Orlando in January. Dino,
neither have tickets yet, but
Jordan lives far away from there.
He does, and yeah, it's a little more challenging for him. And Dino's a busy man, so it's
true.
We'll
I mean, I see Dino a couple times a year anyway, but it'd be nice to see him in Florida in January.
Exactly.
And
yes,
Jordan, I think I've only met Jordan in person once.
I've never met him, so I mean, I've done a lot of streams with him. So I hope one day to get to meet him in person. Apparently, I might see him in Hawaii in August because the Pokemon World Championships are going to be in Hawaii in August, and I'm not going to miss going to Hawaii. You know, my family goes without me all the time. I'm not going to miss a trip to Hawaii. So yeah, everybody plan on me taking that week off of streaming. I'm going to enjoy myself.
You should do one from Hawaii. Is you with like a coconut with an umbrella in it?
I could. Yeah. What drink am I having tonight? Yes, exactly. I could do that. Like a 5-minute stream once a night. But anyways, Mike, always fun, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much for hosting us over and over and over again.
Yes, not a problem. And remember, everybody, Micah asks at ComicConnect for all your questions about this one.
And the auction ends on next Monday, December 4th, 7 o'clock Eastern time. It'll probably run for 3 hours-ish.
There you go.
Starting with
on Monday.
Starting with Art Adams, ending with, I believe, Scotty Young is the last piece. There is a Scotty Young piece. I didn't even show it. The cover, it's a New Warriors cover from the early 2000s.
Very cool.
Something to look for all the way at the end of the auction.
Scotty.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome, Micah. Good night, everybody. See you again tomorrow night.